Bringing us on camera, GM. He said simply that Malik was our guy. He's a guy we targeted. Dave, before you get it popping, man, I'm just going to quickly say I think they made the right decision.
All right, guys. So it's been a while since I made a video. I've been dealing with a death in the family, so I've been recovering from that. But now I'm catching up on all of the reactions to the draft, especially day one. But more so, not even reactions, just some of the segments and stuff and people breaking down Malik Neighbors' pick. And I happened to run into one of the videos from Speak. Speak has been interesting because every time they talk about the Giants, it's usually a Daniel Jones hate fest. Right now, one of my favorite Daniel Jones hater is not on the panel. They have his replacement. I don't think this is a permanent replacement. He might be out sick or something. But Shady's still there and Joy is there. Joy always looks great. I have nothing negative to say about Joy, but I really don't listen to Joy when it comes to the Giants because she just be talking the same nonsense that a lot of the Giants fans be talking. So it just sounds like casual mumble jumble about Daniel Jones sucks, blah, blah, blah. But Shady is hilarious. Like, I just be laughing when Shady be talking. Shady, you know, he in his opinion, he's telling the truth about Daniel Jones, and that's fine. I don't have no slander for Shady outside of him just being an Eagle. That's where most of my hate would come from Shady. He was an Eagle. I see him as an Eagle. I'll always see him as an Eagle. So I don't like Shady for that reason, but I do listen to his Daniel Jones slander because sometimes it just makes me laugh. And so this segment that I'm going to play you is hilarious to me, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But let's get into what him and Joy were saying about us taking Malik Neighbors.
Ceiling?
Can't stay healthy?
Listen, man, I get it. It's a great pick because he's a great wide receiver, right? But who's throwing the ball? Like Daniel Jones is awful, though. He's not good. So we just gonna keep playing this game? We just get great players with a bad quarterback? Because how's that gonna work out?
What was the alternative?
Draft a quarterback.
Which one? Because they did try. So the alternative,
they didn't try. They didn't. What do you mean try?
They tried to trade.
They tried to get trade up. Okay, but you're still sat where you sat and still had an opportunity to take all three of those guys.
I mean, but my thing is, like, you could have tried to trade up to get him.
They tried.
Right? Okay, you could have tried harder.
Okay, so Shady and Joy are actually taking an L right here, and anybody with common sense knows exactly why they're taking an L. So I've told you guys repeatedly that if the Giants decided that they wanted to move on from Daniel Jones while still paying Daniel Jones, which is stupid, I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all don't think that. Oh, just get a quarterback and you sit Daniel Jones the entire year. Well, if you do it next year, you can cut him and eat the $22 million dead cap. Oh well, it's not like the Russell Wilson situation. It's much better. So you can't move up to get the quarterback that you want because more than likely they wanted one of the top three quarterbacks. So again, best way to get them would have been to lose out. Washington played us. They did that. Their players were complaining, saying, "What are we doing? We're losing, motherfucker. That's what we're doing because we want to get our top quarterback." Giants fans are acting like, "Oh, we too honorable to lose." Well, how you going? We too honorable to lose, but I don't like Daniel Jones and I want a new quarterback. Well, stupid. If you wanted a new quarterback, you lose out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that, you know, the Giants should have went the Sixers route if you feel like we needed to replace Daniel Jones this year. It's the honest truth. And so for Shady McCoy to say that the Giants should have tried harder, how are you going to try harder? Are you going to give up all of your future picks to get Drake May? And it seems like, you know, New England probably still would have said no because they needed a quarterback. Washington needed a quarterback. Obviously, Chicago was going to take a quarterback. So how are you going to try harder? This is why I'm laughing at Shady McCoy and Joy. Like I said, I don't listen to Joy when Joy talks about the Giants. I don't know if her other segments with other teams are much better. I'm not going to discredit Joy. Obviously, she's getting paid to do her job. But Shady, again, just be making me laugh when he just be talking a whole bunch of shit. Like, I get it. I'm not going to say we. I'm indifferent to Daniel Jones. Would I rather another quarterback? If we were in the position like a top 3 pick to draft one, I would love a quarterback. Why not? But to say that we should have tried harder to get a quarterback is crazy to me because the top 3 teams needed a quarterback. So again, you know, even you Giants fans that are siding with, you know, Shady McCoy and thinking like Joy, what is wrong with your brain? Like, what is wrong with you guys? All right, so this next segment, I'm not sure who this new guy is. I don't know if he's a permanent replacement for James Jones, but he made the most sense on the panel. He actually flipped Joy and Shady at the end. So, you know, I'll link the original video down low, but he says some interesting stuff about the Giants that some of you guys might not like, but it's the truth.
Rookie, because what's Daniel Jones? What is that? I watch him play. They manage the game like he's a rookie. They don't want to throw the ball too much. They don't want to throw deep too much. They want to run the ball, RPOs with him because they treat him like a rookie. So if you don't give a veteran quarterback all this money, right, and you're going to play the veteran quarterback as a rookie, give him a rookie type of game plan, why not go out there and get you a potential rookie that has some talent that potentially could take your team?
So Shady's taking another L right here because, again, Shady, like Joy, are emotional thinkers. So these two aren't using common sense and logic. The Giants are already paying Daniel Jones. They obviously wanted a top 3 quarterback because if that was not true, then they would have drafted J.J. McCarthy. They didn't draft J.J. McCarthy because they don't want him. They didn't draft Michael Penix because they don't want him. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about just taking a rookie quarterback? The quarterback that you want is not available, so you take Malik. It's common sense. I don't know why Shady doesn't get it. I mean, Hillman does a really good job of basically backing Joy and Shady into a corner because they're not thinking logically. They're using emotions. That's a lot of you Giants fans. Oh, Daniel Jones suck. I want a new quarterback. Well, the Giants obviously don't think like you guys, which I'm glad they don't, because you can't draft a quarterback that you don't want just because everybody says that you need to draft a quarterback. That's stupid. Also, Shady's claims about them using Daniel Jones as a rookie isn't necessarily true, because I didn't feel like they did anything different with Tyrod Taylor and DeVito. The only thing they did was they took chances. Now, both of them did have the luxury of having Barkley, and nobody wants to admit it, but yes, the line was terrible, but it got a little bit better because we got Andrew Thomas back and we started switching that line around. I get it. It's very popular to say that we had the same line the entire season. Lies. Look at the roster and you'll see we shuffled some guys around. We took some guys off the street and they did way better than Josh Azudo on the left side, who was the reason why Daniel Jones got hurt the first time, because he's not a tackle. He should have never been playing tackle. And then Neal was just trash. So I'm just being honest here, guys. I don't like Daniel Jones or hate Daniel Jones. I'm just being honest. I'll say this about the deep ball situation, though. A lot of us picked up on the fact that Daniel Jones wasn't throwing the ball deep. And I'm talking about on situations where he didn't get sacked like right away. And the biggest example of this would be the Seahawks game. Yes, he got sacked a lot, but there was a play where he was pissing off his #1 fan, Eli Manning. He was pissed. He was like, throw the ball, Daniel. Throw the ball, Daniel. Come on, somebody's open. So he can tell. So, yes, there were moments where, yes, Hyatt was indeed open and he just didn't throw the ball deep. That wasn't every time, guys. Don't over-exaggerate that shit.
Can
Eventually.
we air some dirty law, like a dirty secret? Can we just speak plainly? The Giants aren't trying to get to the playoffs right now. Like, they're not a team to be taken seriously, in my opinion anyway, right now, regardless of what they had done. Whether it was a quarterback or a receiver, they're not a factor in this race.
So that statement by Hillman is definitely going to hurt some Giants fans, because some fans think that we're going to be hunting for a playoff spot next year. Like, you know, going into the season, they like what we did with the defense. I mean, I like it too. I don't mind going into the season not expecting much, but then getting a 2022 repeat where, you know, we do get that playoff spot with expectations being low. I always like coming in under the radar. When you have expectations, like when Daniel Jones got paid and people are like, well, he better ball out because he got paid, and then all of a sudden we came out flat versus the Cowboys, you get disappointment. Now, I don't know why anybody thought, you know, paying Daniel Jones $40 million was going to make him better if you thought he was trash already. But I digress. But yeah, I'd rather go into the season not expecting much. Some people probably low-key don't really want us to win games because they want us to have the best quarterback prospect in the next season after the upcoming season. So they probably won't say it out loud, but by the time we get to the middle of the season, if it doesn't look like we can contend for a playoff spot, not for a championship, but just to get into the playoffs, some people will start, you know, talking about maybe losing some games to secure one of the top quarterbacks, which that might shuffle because right now it's between Sanders and the kid from Texas. So let's see.
So what would you rather have? Would you rather have a quarterback who has no help, who's going to get the hell beat out of him probably this year in a non-winning season? Or would you agree a stud receiver like Malik Neighbors, if he's good, can go crazy even, I mean, he can have a good rookie season even if it's Daniel Jones and Drew Lock?
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook!
Would you rather have a quarterback getting beat to hell or a receiver and maybe some additional skill players that the Giants draft who will get ready for next year when they make their move? Because I'm comfortable saying right now they will move on from Daniel Jones in 2025, and whether it's a free agent or you try again in the draft, you get your receiver next year, and the Giants will be a more complete roster ready to compete then.
I can get with that.
So Joy does concede. I don't know if Shady really agrees because he just really has a hard on for Daniel Jones. Like, he really hates Daniel Jones. He might be worse than James Jones. James Jones, I don't really remember him being a good receiver with Green Bay. He was maybe a wide receiver. No, he was wide receiver 3 because Jordy Nelson was on that team. So I think he kind of identifies with our wide receivers where he's just like, well, if they had a better quarterback, they would play better. And that's true. However, they're not wide receiver 1s. And so now you have Malik Neighbors and, you know, you bring in a quarterback next year, assuming that they're just like, all right, we've seen enough of Daniel Jones because obviously he's on the team. He's the starting quarterback because they want him there. That's all. The guys that are in charge, they want him there. They don't care if 25% of the fan base doesn't like Daniel Jones. You're still buying tickets. The biggest Daniel Jones hater on YouTube has season tickets already. He's never going to not have season tickets. They can go into another year of Daniel Jones. He'll probably still renew his season tickets. And the Giants, they know that. They know that we're loyal. So they really don't care if you like Daniel Jones or not. As long as you are still buying merchandise and going to the games, that's all they care about. So yeah, he really backed Shady and Joy down into a corner. Shady's never going to change his view on Daniel Jones. He's always going to say Daniel Jones is trash. But at the end of the day, you couldn't move up and get the quarterbacks that you wanted. They don't want to be in a situation where they draft a quarterback just to draft a quarterback. That's terrible. I don't know why everybody wants us to be the Jets. The 2 quarterbacks that the Jets drafted, they were rated higher than Daniel Jones coming into their respective drafts and didn't work out. So this quarterback thing is tricky. JJ McCarthy went to the best place that he can go to. He's got the weapons there. We now have at least one weapon, and then hopefully Hyatt and Wandell can develop depending on who's throwing to him, right? You know, because if it's bad Daniel Jones, then it surely doesn't help anybody. But if he reverts back to 2 years ago where he was throwing to what's the 2 receivers that didn't work out for Kansas City? Because a lot of you guys were like, oh, well, you know, if Richie James and Joker, you know, if they had Patrick Mahomes throwing to them, they would do great. And they did not. You were wrong. You won't admit it. But a lot of you guys, when we had those bum-ass receivers in the year we went to the playoffs, and this is no disrespect to my guy Hodgins. He's not a bum. I like him. And same with Slayton. I have a love-hate relationship with Slayton, like most Giants fans, because he did drop a couple balls that he should have caught. But that was not what we wanted to go into that season with. You know, Wandell got hurt. So, you know, that's why when we talk about Daniel Jones throwing 15 touchdowns, we don't really look at the context of the wide receivers weren't good. That's different now. Now we fixed the line issue from last season. Hopefully Daniel Jones fixes himself because a lot of his problems were on him, not seeing open wide receivers, not wanting to throw the ball deep. There's a lot of things that Daniel Jones needs to fix in himself. This is obviously more than likely his last season. I would say most people would say that he's probably going to play bad. And when I say most people, I'm not saying most Giants fans. I'm just talking about the NFL overall. Most people are just like, Malik Neighbors is nice, but they're not expecting anything from Daniel Jones. But hey, if he can stay healthy and just throw the ball downfield, anything is possible. You know, you guys ignore the fact that there are other quarterbacks out there. Sometimes they're backups or they just suck. And, you know, like Zach Wilson, for instance, and you know, the wide receiver that they drafted, Garrett Wilson, still had 2 seasons of 1,000 yards. So that's not going to affect Malik Neighbors negatively because all he has to do is get him the damn ball. It's not hard to do. He's better than Zach Wilson. So if you think otherwise, you were an idiot, but he's better than Zach Wilson, and Zach Wilson was able to get the ball to Garrett Wilson. Malik will be fine. It's a great pick. Shady's a hater. It's funny to me, and Joy is also a hater.